Hey guys. So I apologize for the setup. I have been way too busy to get camera ready at night. But I still want to put these readings out, so I'm just doing them this way. The reading style is also a little different. I don't usually do these, but I actually really like them. To be fair, they are not going to resonate with everyone. They have been very specific to individuals. If you find that this reading isn't resonating for you, just check out your other placements. I'm sure there's something there for you. As always, remember that there is no gender in tarot. If I pull a queen, I could still be talking about a guy. If you need to book a private personal reading, that information's in the description below and in the pinned section of the comments. I've also linked to my friend's channel there if you want to check her out. She's really awesome. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Okay. Tell me about Virgo here, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, so your overall energy is the Page of Swords. We have the Tower, the King of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, Strength, the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. We have the Seven of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the outcome is the Knight of Cups. Sorry guys, it's really nice in New York today, so there's been a lot of motorcycles. This energy looks rough. Virgo, is this a dark night of the soul? Is this an awakening? Because I feel like you're learning something here about your foundation, and it's shocking. It's like, something that you're learning here is making you understand yourself, and I feel like it's understanding yourself emotionally and when it comes to love. I do have the King and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, that could be your moms and pops. But you are awakening to who they are, and I feel like this requires a lot of strength. I feel like you're actually like in isolation and a healing here, trying to figure all this out. But the Ace of Wands on this deck is very different than other decks. It's definitely that third eye opening. And I feel like there's some type of recognition about that relationship that has you so guarded and untrusting of love. It's like you don't offer up much emotion to people. You're actually kind of terrified to do so. It seems like kind of the type of thing where somebody grew up and they're recognizing that, maybe their parents, maybe it was never that deep. It was always about financial stability, making sure that they were able to maintain a household, and that it wasn't about love and genuine happiness. And because you didn't see a lot of affection in the home, you're actually not even really sure what that looks like. But it's almost like, if anything super emotional comes your way, you just kind of run away and hide and isolate and protect yourself from it. So I feel like you push love away. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Now, reading it in the opposite direction, I feel like there's a lot of forgiveness and healing that needs to go on here. Perhaps you've been kind of a little too protective of your energy to the point where it really does come off isolating here. I feel like maybe that's kind of the environment that you were raised in even. Maybe these people kind of stayed inside the house and were very kind of introverted and isolated, and you kind of learned from that. Um, but also to keep your distance emotionally. It's a very interesting thing that happens in these type of family dynamics. You know, on one hand, you do have both parents, and there is a lot of stability. There's a roof over your head, there's food, but to not really see or understand love is very confusing as an adult when it seems like that's what you're looking for. Now, I'm not saying that these people weren't affectionate towards you. They clearly were. The King and Queen of Pentacles, they're both great parents. Just feel like they weren't necessarily affectionate or warm towards one another. And the entire strength of the foundation in this relationship pretty much just revolved around finances. These people may have lived in the same house and stayed in separate rooms type of thing here. It's like you're starting to realize that your emotional distance is actually just sort of like a learned behavior. But it's kind of an epiphany. Maybe you were having a lot of problems in romance, or just connecting with people deeply and feeling like it was safe to be like open and vulnerable. I feel like it kind of happened out of some weird conversation with a parent, maybe, and specifically this Queen of Pentacles. It could, maybe you went and had a conversation with your mom, like, I don't get it, mom. I just, like when it comes to love, it doesn't work for me. How did you and dad make it work forever? And she unloads this awful truth on you that is something like, I love this person unconditionally, but really the reason that, 20 years down the line we were still together is that it just came down to the fact that we were really codependent upon one another. And that just shocked you into this pattern that maybe you have. But it's very eye-opening and life transforming because you recognize that's not what you're looking for, that you want something deeper than that. And maybe you're looking at it kind of the wrong way. The truth is, I'm sure at some point they really did love each other. It's just that, over 20 years, things stopped being so affectionate. But I feel like you want very different than this. Like, I feel like you want the King and Queen of Pentacles type of energy where it is long term and it is stable and it is committed and there is marriage. But you want the Knight of Cups too. You want the love. And so I feel like you're retracing all of these steps. And right now you're kind of in isolation going through this awakening. What an interesting energy. I feel like this is surrounding like a kind of like recent love of yours, and that you really did just go to somebody for, some type of advice. And there's this recognition that not everything is always as it seems, but also that there's some trauma behind how that all did play out. Maybe it's like you just thought love was like that, like maybe you just never got that deep with somebody. It's like you love in a stable way. You make sure that there's a roof over everybody's head and that the house is clean and everybody's safe, and you just never followed through and put some deep emotion behind it. And I think that perhaps recently you may have stuck your emotions somewhere they didn't belong and woke up to all of this. So maybe for the first time you opened up and were vulnerable and chose to love somebody when you don't usually do that. And now you're recognizing a pattern here. It's pretty simple thing here. You could do some root work, some inner child healing. go back and reprogram and reparent that inner child and make sure it gets some affection and love so that it can be open to love and affection. But at the same time, I do want to say your parents don't have it 100% wrong. I see, like that, making sure that everybody's good is part of great parenting and good, marriages. Is that you want more. You want there to always also be that emotional deepness in the connection, someone that you can be open and nurturing with. But this is a really, I feel, chaotic time for you because there's a lot of things that you didn't recognize in your own behaviors, perhaps, in relationships, and where even though they're pre-programmed conceptions, they could kind of be wrong. And maybe viewing love from a totally different angle now. So this is all part of your direct path and going in the right direction now. So, it's a shake-up, and I feel like it's painful because somewhere in this, I also feel like you're separated from the first person that you actually put deep emotion into. So it's like, you got two things going on at once here. But you're going to make it through and come out the other side much stronger and a lot smarter. Okay, that's what I have for you guys. See you soon.